Okay, on these particular problems, you're evaluating functions, so you can see how the x has been replaced with a number. What we're going to do is we're going to replace the x with a number. So we will replace the x squared with a -7. So technically what I have here is -4 times -7 squared plus 19. It is important when I replace the x, I put a parenthesis where the x used to be and stick the -7 right inside that parenthesis. Now you can work this out. I guess just on paper or in your head, or you can type it into Desmos. So if I type it into Desmos, I have a -4, parenthesis -7. And to get my square, I can do a Shift-6 makes an exponent, or if I get, I can go in the little corner here and get an exponent option. It's kind of hidden by my other toolbar, so I'll just do Shift-6. We'll make an exponent. And I think it was a plus 19 on the end. So that gives me an answer of -177. And that is how you do these. We might try one more of them. Okay, this one, you notice I have two x's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace both of them with my number. So if I have one x, clearly you just replace the one, but if you have two x's, the 9 has to go in for both of the x's. So I have a negative, put a parenthesis right where the x was. Notice the negative was in front of the x, so it's still in front of those parentheses. Plus 5 times 9 plus 15. So I have the ability to go here and type my negative, open my parenthesis, 9, close my parenthesis squared, and then it was a plus 5 times 9 plus 15. And once you do that, you get a -21, which should be my correct answer. Let's see if we're right again. So that's very good. Let's go ahead and look at one other thing I want to mention is if you were doing Desmos, you could just type in a -x squared plus 5x plus 15. And you could look at your graph and you could go over to 9 on your graph. You might have to zoom out. But if you go to 9 on your graph, you will get the answer by hovering over your graph when x equals 9. Well, there's its 8. And if I go over to 9, it's going to give me the correct answer. My picture's in the way, but that is a -21 there. Okay. The other thing that's neat about Desmos is you can always take this and make it a table. If you use your gear item and make a table in Desmos, it gives you a list of values. But if you want to add another one, we need to know what happened when x was 9. Just type in a 9, and that's a very easy to get it. So if you use the gear and make it into you get the option to make a table, and then you can type in whatever number you get that way. Desmos has a lot of neat tricks. On this particular problem, you have to look carefully because notice this time they didn't replace the x with a 0. They said g of x is equal to 0. So that means I'm going to replace the entire g of x with a 0. So I have 0 equals x plus 4. Now you could solve this by hand. You could say 0 equals -x plus 4. Subtract, well, I'd probably add x to both sides. And that will give me an x equals 4, and that would be your answer. So that's how you can do those. We'll look at one more together, though. This one, get rid of those old marks. I can, once again, they didn't replace the x with a 7, but they said f of x is equal to 7. So they're not just replacing the f of x, remember, is basically the same thing as a y equals. So they're replacing this whole thing and setting it equal to 7. Now, another way you can do this is I could solve this algebraically using, or I can go to Desmos, and I could type in the 3x plus 9. Well, get rid of this stuff quickly. 3x plus 1, and I can look for where it equals 7. To get a 7, I can just type a y equals 7, and then the intersection will give me my value of 2, which is the same thing I would get algebraically. So my answer is 2 because that gives me a 7.